So we just pulled up at this car park and I smelled something amazing. So we've got Taco Bells across the road, but what's interesting is that there's an authentic Mexican joint right on the corner here where there's heaps of people lining up. I think I needed one before we get back. Eating the Mexican food outside Taco Bell's, it just went to show that the Mexicans really were out to show what real Mexican food is. And you can always tell what is good Mexican, oh my God, when you see lots of Mexican people lining up.
Well, the flavor, the taste is it's like Mexico, you know? They remind me, you know, my place.
What I love about coming to America is that I get to experience a melting pot of different cultures. I'd heard of a Filipino cultural group in the US called Mark of the Four Waves, who take great pride in keeping Filipino traditions alive. I went to meet tattooist ELLE, who specializes in personal tribal tattoos.
I'm glad you made it. Come on in, man.
I've been looking to get a tattoo for about 10 years, and the permanency of a tattoo has always prevented me from just getting some sort of impulsive thing. I wanted to find someone who not only was a gifted tattoo artist, but almost be my history teacher.
Check this out. Come on in, man. This is where the magic happens.
Oh, wow.
I can't wait for you to really immerse yourself in this.
I grew up in the Philippines, and at the age of 5, I walked out of my house and got lost in the busy streets of Manila, and then ended up in an orphanage where I lived for about 18 months before I was adopted by Australian parents. You know, the last 2 years I found my biological parents, so that's been mind-blowing. Hopefully this trip I can connect with my birth dad.
Awesome.
ELLE was a very interesting guy because he was so passionate about reviving the Filipino culture.
There, that's what blew me away. I was like, holy guacamole. The face tatted up, so inspiring.
I felt like I was meeting a brother. In sort of many ways, we've come from the same kind of background.
Growing up here, being an immigrant, it's totally culture shock. Plus, your parents want you to blend in so much that you lose your identity. So I want to help out in some way to clear that path, bro. I'm just glad, man.
Thanks, brother. So I've done a bit of research, and my mother comes from Samar and my dad comes from Batangas. So can you take me through some of the markings?
Yeah, bro. So like, finding out your waray, the reputation about you guys are mean people, right? The warrior people. And your dad being from Batangas, because they're warrior people too.
ELLE showed me what he was going to incorporate in my tattoo, like my personality, my accomplishments, where my parents lived in the Philippines, and where my grandparents were from.
So man, there's like warrior in your blood, bro, and you need to be strong about this.
When you talk about the warrior part of myself, I mean, I've felt like I've been fighting all my life. I think I've always had this fighting spirit within me. I think it's important to know where you come from because it gives that reference point. It makes you realize that you're unique, and rather than sort of adapting to the world around you, which is, I think, quite a valuable skill that I learned growing up. But now, knowing where I come from kind of gives me the anchoring to kind of honor both the Australian and the Filipino side of myself. Filipino side of myself is like my humor and the way that I love food and the way that I eat food very quickly and without chewing. What is American culture to you?
It's definitely a melting pot. It's an experiment to see how you can bring all these folks together and see what happens. It's definitely a struggle for people of color, but there is just so much culture here. There's something beautiful about the struggle.
I was born in the Philippines, raised here in the States. My adoptive family never brought me into that culture of the Philippines. And so growing up, I just kind of felt lost.
My parents both started opening up recently because they've been kind of like hesitant on it. They wanted to make sure I was more Americanized than anything. For me, I feel like I want to connect more from where I'm from.
Seeing all these people so passionate about knowing their culture really makes me think about how important it is to me to meet my biological dad, Richie, while I'm here in LA. To be honest, like, I really don't know what's gonna happen when I hang out with Richie. There's been a few situations around my dad. Originally, I thought that he wasn't going to even be in LA because he texted me this just bizarre text message that he was in the Philippines while we were in the LA. And to be honest, I was a little bit upset by that. What the fuck? Hey, Yaz. You're not gonna like this. So, bad news. He's going to the fields tomorrow night because there was a thief who entered the house. So it's like a break-in. He can't think properly now, and I don't know when he's coming back. Like, he's just like bounced when he knows I'm here. It's a fucking nightmare. It's a nightmare. Philos are nightmares. One of my biggest fears is being one of the product of all the male role models that have kind of entered and left in my life. And I think there's this sort of natural instinct to flee, and I need to stop that. Some of the big questions that I have for Richie is, why did you leave? Right, next street. One thing that I have to understand is that I might not get all the answers. The answer's gonna be right here. And I have to really accept that. Hopefully he's not in the Philippines. Fingers crossed.
Please leave your message for 81823.
Didn't answer. Hold on a second. Oh shit, he's messaged another address. What the hell is North Hollywood? He's at a small shop. He's in the country and he knows I'm coming, so let's go meet him. I can always put out an offer, and if he takes it, he takes it. If he doesn't, he doesn't. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to having time with my dad that I've missed out on. Let's meet my dad. And just like that, there he was.
Hello.
Hey!
How are you? At last you find us together, huh?
Yeah, yeah.
All right.
At last we found you. How you doing?
Okay.
Yeah? Is that a chicken?
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if it's a mechanic shop or if it's a chicken shop. Why do you have so many chickens? It feels like I'm in the Philippines.
They lay egg and they
Yeah.
hatch it.
You ready for a bit of a trip? We're gonna go
Yeah.
do some camping?
Yeah.
Yeah?
No problem.
Do you camp?
Not too much. I think only twice. But I don't want to go there again because, you know, the bear or, oh my God, they're going to eat you there. Oh my God.
Do you have a bag to go camping or you...
No.
No?
Well, are we going to stay there longer? Or?
Yeah, we're gonna go for a week.
For a week?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I'm just kidding. No, one night. One night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's okay.
All right. Yeah.
Maybe I'll bring my jacket, huh?
Yeah, bring your jacket. Yeah. And a toothbrush or something. Do I feel angry? Do I feel sad about it? Part of me wants him to like me. You know, part of me wants him to see the son that he never had. But part of me is like, just understand that he might not be ready for some of those questions and that we might need some time before we have that connection. And so part of this trip for me is about having that time. I'm hoping that we can build some sort of relationship through that. You've never set up a tent?
No.
Damn, that looks like the floor. That looks like the outside of it. I think it's... So, okay, wait, what's going on here? Doing stuff that we don't have to talk is going to be the time that he's going to be comfortable with me to be able to open up to me. And for me too, because there's this sort of awkwardness about, you know, who is this man? We did it. Okay, so tent's done, fire's done, and I'm about to discover that everything I knew about my childhood is actually not what I've been led to believe. See, apparently, way back before I got lost, back when I was a newborn, my mother had to go away, and Richie really stepped up to take care of me. Can you tell me about what happened when I was born?
Oh, yeah. If you want, I'm gonna tell you, you know. When you are 3 months old, she go away. And you know, I'm a man. I don't know how to take care of baby like you know. But I try. Oh, my God. You cry. Hungry, make you milk, you know.
So you were acting like my mother?
Yeah. Mother and father.
Yeah. So I'm sitting here with my mind kind of blown. I've lived my life thinking my dad abandoned me. But in reality, he took care of me. He nurtured me. He fed me. This is totally new information right now. Growing up, Dad, I've always felt like you left when I was like a small kid.
No, not me. I'm not a bad guy, you know.
I never realized that you stuck around. You were there for me.
Yeah, that's true. You're my son, you know. No problem.
Thank you. Did you love me at the time?
Love?
Yeah.
Oh, more than love, you know.
Yeah.
More than love, you know. Not only say I love you, you know. I'm gonna prove it.
It means a lot for you to be here.
Well, I'm happy right now.
Yeah.
I found you.
It was something that was really unexpected. Like, I didn't expect a pull towards each other. It's made me feel like I've got a dad now that's got my back. I definitely feel like there was trust that had been created on our camping trip, and something opened up for him. Traveling to America has brought me closer to understanding my biological roots, and connecting with my dad has changed my life story. I wasn't abandoned. I was loved. So even though my dad says tattoos are for criminals, it's been so fulfilling to talk to him, to understand his love for me, and to uncover more about my past. Stuff that I'm proud to have marked, rather painfully, on my skin for the rest of my life. It has been an extraordinary trip, just going with the flow and seeing every kind of hurdle and roadblock as an opportunity and just part of the story.
We'll see you again.
See ya.
Okay.
It's definitely given me a sort of a reminder of the glass half full